How can I make mundane task more enjoyable? Mundane task. What's a mundane task? Making mundane tasks is more enjoyable can help you everyday course and opportunity to fun creativity. Here are some way to help them to more engage, incorporate the music and podcast, turn into the game, create theme experience, break into the smaller steps, pairs, use creative tool, add a moment, creative settings, creative rules. Okay. Now I listen. Now I understand. Already, yeah. So, question is, how can I make mundane task more enjoyable? What's a mundane task? Um, Example. Okay, yeah. If I say that you have to dig the hole, okay, on the ground for almost like 10 feet, okay, 10 feet, 5 feet, okay, five, 10 feet was too much. 5 feet, okay, yeah, you have to dig the hole 5 feet on the ground. So basically what do you have to do, like what kind of like a steps that you should supposed to do? Okay, there are a couple of steps. Okay, yeah, you have first step is that you have to kind of like a use crane or bulldozer or something like that to dig the hole. Okay, yeah, it didn't really take that much time, and it really required so much little bit of money. Okay, yeah, but probably your work is done within an hour. It's not really that much difficult. Okay, yeah, if you have money and everything, if you have all the resources. If you don't really have the resources, then you have to dig the hole by yourself. Okay, yeah. So how do I supposed to dig the hole by myself? You have a kind of like a something little bit of tools like axe. Okay, axe, or like there are a bunch of tools. Okay, we call them powder and kurad in Marathi. Okay, I'm not really sure English word for that. Okay, so we use this tool, we dig the hole. Okay, the steps is that, like basically the execution is that you just have to like enjoy your physical forces, physical thing to dig the hole and something like that. Okay, yeah, you have to do this thing again and again means like that key, throw the axe or something, just like dig the hole, like it's the first time. It's like like basically like कुऱ्हाड मारून ते जमीन उपसणे फोडणे. You get it now how you dig the hole. Okay, yeah. So is it kind of like a simply rocket science? No, it's not rocket science. It's a like I could dig the hole. Like anyone could dig the hole. It's not really that much difficult. It's difficult, yeah. Like basically it required physical power. But if you have physical power, then probably this is not kind of like a something required so much amount of brain and something like that. No, you could do those things with tool, without tool. Yeah. This is called mundane task. What's a mundane task? In the mundane task, mundane or mundane, this word is kind of like a very difficult to pronounce, but this mundane task is kind of like a represent. You don't really need a kind of like a something really a brain to do this work. You just need a kind of like a something physical effort or kind of like a something being continuous. Okay, yeah. So this called kind of like a something mundane task. Okay, yeah. Do you understand what is actually mundane task? Like basically you dig the hole. Okay, yeah. If you still not understand, I also kind of like a something giving you another example. Okay, yeah. Like roti. Have you make a roti? Okay, yeah, roti. Roti is a kind of like a something Indian cuisine, by the way, and it's a kind of like a something made of atta and kanik. I still not sure what is actually the English word for that. Okay, yeah. So you have to make the roti. Okay, yeah. At the first time, if you are didn't really make any of the roti, you are not really sure how do you supposed to do this thing. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like something very difficult, and basically the main difficult part of the roti is that key make that particular roti exactly circular. Okay, and that's really very difficult to do for the beginner. Okay, yeah. But if you are pro in this thing, you pro like you make a lot of rotis, and it's kind of like a something that key, like the everything is structured inside of your brain is actually printed. Okay, yeah, how do you make that roti? Okay, yeah. So is this thing right now you don't really need kind of like a somebody put that much effort and kind of like a something like that key brain power to make that routine. No, it's kind of like a something very common. Okay, yeah, because you are doing this thing for rest of the life, and right now it's kind of like a so easy for you. Okay, yeah. For this is the process for you called mundane task. Okay, means like that a mundane task means like that ki, like at the first example you understand now what is really mundane task. This is also kind of like a something also mundane task. In that mundane task means like that ki you are not using that much brain power, you are actually using your physical memory. What's the physical memory? A physical memory, that how do you supposed to make the roti, how do you kind of like do those things, a circular roti. You have little bit of experience, not little bit, you have a lot of experience regarding about make the roti. So you are not putting that much effort, and you are not putting, sorry, you are not putting that much kind of like a some brains to make the roti. It's not okay. Yeah, you make thousands of roti before, and right now you are making roti, so it became little bit of bore. Oh yeah, because you did this thing for thousands of time, it just bore. It's called mundane task. Okay, yeah. This is the second example. If you still not understand what's a mundane task, I'm gonna give you kind of like another example. Okay, yeah. You are the driver. Okay, you used to drive like basically you are driving like a bus. Okay, yeah. You are the driver of bus. Okay, yeah. So you are actually driving this thing for like a whole rest of your life. You have, you know everything about clutch, brake, gears and steerings and everything, how do you steer the bus and something like that. Okay, yeah. And you kind of like basically you drive the bus like thousands of hour, thousand, ten thousands of hour. It's like that, too much. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like a something is this thing. This is the process that you are driving. It's called mundane task, because like you are not putting that much kind of like a something brain power to do those work. It's like your physical memories and everything is kind of like a something have little bit of experience into you, and it's kind of like a something that it's automatically happened. Okay, so that is called a mundane task. All right, yeah. So you get it now, what's exactly mundane task. Okay, you understand what's a mundane task. There are a lot of things. Okay, yeah, like cooking, like driving, or kind of like a something that key, lots of like basically let me tell you one thing, our entire life is actually filled with almost like a 80%, 70 to 80% work is mundane task. Okay, like going to the office, coming back to the office, like basically is this thing that ki, how do you solve this thing, that thing, like not solve but kind of like a, like the things that you do daily. Okay, that is all those things called mundane task. Okay, yeah. So question is that how do I supposed to make this mundane task more enjoyable? Okay, yeah. So like enjoyable, it's kind of like a something that key, why do we have this enjoyable, like is it kind of like a something essential, like it's what is actually this enjoyable. Okay, yeah. So jump back to the previous example, driving. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, I told you, you are like this driving is a mundane task, means like that ki you have a lot of experience about driving, and it's kind of like a something that you are doing this thing, you are good with this thing driving. Okay, yeah. How do I supposed to make more enjoyable? Listen the music. Okay, yeah. When you listen the music, it kind of like a something that ki uh, you work really good. Okay, yeah. It's a kind of like a something that it's something that na ki example. Okay, yeah. I'm giving you two driver A, driver B. Driver A is a kind of like a, both the driver has to be kind of like a something really that drive from Bombay to Pune within a particular period of time. Okay, yeah. So is this thing that ki one, the only difference between the two driver, one driver is not listening music, another driver is listening the music. Okay, yeah. So basically, which driver, like A or B driver, which driver is kind of like early, like which driver kind of like a something reach, like which driver kind of like a feel more enjoyable while driving? The person who use the music while driving, that person kind of like a feel more enjoyable, like that trip is kind of like a really good for him. Okay, yeah. So this is why we are kind of like a something make the mundane task more enjoyable, like listening the music. But listening the music is not the only thing, like mostly listening music, yeah, because listening music didn't really require that much kind of like a something just thing. You just have to like put the earphone and that's it, you just do your thing. Okay, yeah. So this is how I make. Okay, usually this also I also experience this thing. Okay, yeah. I when I was in the job, I was actually doing this kind of like a designing stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And I was kind of like a somebody used to with this thing, because it's kind of like a somebody designing this stuff and that stuff. Like I do know all the tools and stuff like that. So everything is kind of like a something so easy for me. Okay, yeah. So when I started doing this thing, when I started designing this thing, I put my earphone, okay, and just like I started doing this thing. And when I do that thing, it kind of like improve my productivity. Because of that, I was kind of like doing all those designing stuff on the beat of the music, and it was like wow. Okay, it's like really great. Okay, you also probably understand, you also probably knew this thing. If you are kind of like a coder or kind of like a software developer, you have to write the codes, and you know so many codes. Okay, yeah, you already write so many codes. So probably for you, when you are listening music and writing the code, it's also really great thing. It's like wow. Okay, like you improve your productivity while listening music and writing the code simultaneously. It was like wow. So this is how we kind of like simply make more enjoyable, to make the mundane task even more enjoyable. All right, yeah. So there are a couple of pointers over here. Go through it. First of all, incorporate music and podcast, like basically that I mentioned. Turn into the games. Turn into the games. Like, do I turn into games? No. Create the theme experience. Break into the smaller step. Pair the task enjoyable, more activity. Use creative tools. Yeah, these are kind of like a something that key make more. It's I don't know, like it's like basically I shouldn't supposed to be explain this thing. It's like that na ki you know what is actually your work, you know what is actually your mundane task, and you also know that how do you supposed to execute that stuff. And is it that much kind of like a something very crazy? It's not that much crazy. It's okay. It's done. It's a okay. So yeah. This is how you kind of like a something like this. They actually kind of like extend this thing, like a turn into the game. So okay, yeah, like if you turn into the game, then probably this mundane task won't be able to mundane task. But still, create a theme experience, like a role play or theme your environment. Yeah, it kind of like a something that add little bit of values, get little bit of enjoyable. Break into the smaller step. Yeah, this is also really good. Like if you break into the bigger thing into smaller thing, like if you are driving for thousands of kilometers, then probably you take a break for almost like after 200 kilometers. So it will gonna help you. So yeah, these are kind of like a something really the way that you could mundane task even more enjoyable. There are so many ways, and you probably knew it. Okay, yeah. And every kind of like a some of these steps, or every kind of like a tool, or every kind of like a something like the make your mundane task even more enjoyable is up to you. Okay, yeah. It's yes. Next question.